Life is about interruption. Is there any physics student here? Do you know the laws of motion? A body will continue in a state of rest or uniform motion. Am I correct? Unless an external force acts on it. In Eden, there was a motion. Okay? Things were moving normal. Do you remember? Was there food? Was there water? Was there marriage? The man and the wife, were they good? Bone of my bones? Is that not sweethearts? Flesh of my flesh? What's that one now? Heartthrob. And she shall be called woman. He gave her a special name because she was taken from me. Is that revelation? Because he was asleep, so he could determine what happened while he was sleeping. Is that fine? He was naming all the animals. Is that diligence? Talk to me. Is that hard work? And anyone he says, God says, is the same thing. Was there synergy between him and his maker? There was no problem. So the body was in uniform motion. But something happened. Do you remember? In chapter 3, an external force acted on it. Do you remember? When it acted, the man said, you are no longer bone of my bone. You are Eve. What's Eve? The mother of the living. That was the genesis of Papa Emeka. You are now calling her based on the name of her children. That's an interruption. All that God planned for his man was interrupted. In the cool of the day, he will normally come. Do you remember? So that they will have what? Fellowship. What happened to that fellowship? It was interrupted. Was he well dressed before? He was. But when there was an interruption, what happened? He became naked. That's the genesis of nude clothes. The sister is wearing clothes and he's looking for handkerchief. As if he's bib. That's the Genesis. You need to know Genesis before you go to Exodus. You can't exit when you don't know where you're coming from. Even in the way they talk with God, everything changed. Where are you? That question never arose anytime. God can't ask him where are you. You know where he is. He knows where they meet. But where are you? I heard your voice. I'm hiding. I'm hiding from you, God. They have interrupted our flow. The flow between me and you. Somebody has come inside. And I'm hiding myself. Because I am naked. God say what? Who told you that you are naked? Without asking again, have you eaten that thing? If there was no interruption, the answer will be yes. But even his responses has been interrupted. You know, when a guy loves you, money he has got, after he has got, when he starts backsliding from the relationship, he say, you didn't check up on me today. Say, it's even true. Walk. I walked until I slept with my shoe. So all the former days, you are not walking. I'm just showing the genesis of interruption. And do you know, they interrupted them even before they had children. So when they were now producing children, they were producing murderers. If those boys were born inside Eden, there is no way Cain will kill Abel. It's not possible. Because the Bible says, they shall not hurt on my holy mountain. You can't be in God's presence and what you are thinking is to hurt a fellow man. It's not possible. There's no hurt in God's presence. In his presence, there is just fullness of joy. Then at his right hand, there are pleasures. The day I saw that, I said, Baba, thank you. Because you know I've been thinking about the pleasure of the world. How I will miss all the pleasures of the world. I didn't know you have pleasure. Now give me your own pleasure. The Bible says there is a river of pleasure that flows from his house. He doesn't take something from you without replacing it. Even with something better. I am persuaded of better things concerning you and your destiny. There was interruption. He said, the seed of the woman will do what? Issue that is calling Hebrews will interrupt this thing you have done, serpent. I am going to interrupt you. He thought it was Abel. He went and killed Abel. When the blood of Abel landed, the thing it was speaking cannot save a man. Vengeance upon Cain. Let Cain die and become a vagabond. That's what God said. No, we can't use this blood. They kept going, looking for that seed of a woman. Is it not strange? Not the seed of a man. Because no seed of man can do it. They have corrupted all the seed of man. Even when he beckoned on Abraham, come. They sponsored Hagar ahead of time. David was doing well. Bathsheba decided to bath by 10. Sagida out till 4. Of course, what do you expect her? She will be in the swimming pool. Her husband has gone to fight. Men try and be at home. Sometimes when someone says, let me just bath and come. I say, please. Is he bathing or swimming? Because some ladies swim. They don't bath. Men on the bath most times. 15 minutes they are done with everything. And they are shining like the angel. It's a mystery under heaven. If you see any man bathing for 1 hour, he's special. He's not a normal man. God said, I want to interrupt what the devil has done in your life. But I need a womb. There is one sister called Mary. Mary had gotten a proposal from Joseph. John the carpenter has been saving money from carpentry for the work. Baba appeared and said, I want to interrupt the course of nature. Can I borrow your womb? I will use and you will still have children, but for now, can you suspend Joseph so that I can put in something? Do you know that when a woman takes in, is an interruption of her normal system? Psychologically, biologically, physically, food wise, especially when they know he's now a male, they are carrying. They say ora soup. Keep asking for ora soup, and I kept providing ora soup. By the grace of God, Mary agreed and said, be it unto me according to your word. Interrupt my processes so that humanity can be interrupted. And she carried to terms. And for 33 years, they were watching that interruption. God forgive me. He's not intelligent. He's not wise. He's wisdom. You know that when this interruption came, he kept interrupting things. Even when they catch you in adultery and they bring, they say, let's see what he will do. You just look at him. Say, where are the people who brought her? Say, we are here, sir. We know what Moses said. Say, it's okay. Has anybody lied here? He said, yes, sir. So then you are not qualified. Drop your stone. Anybody here who kept money and the husband didn't know? You say, we are here, sir. We say, move. That's how everybody disappeared. Only the woman. Say, I came to interrupt. I've interrupted them. But go and sin no more. Do you know there was even one devil carried? They were already at the gate to bury. He just appeared from somewhere and touched this thing. Say, stop. Kebun neje. So bury her. Say, kune. Boy, kune. Say, give him to eat. He kept interrupting processes. He went to homes, he interrupted processes. He went to the workplace. Some men who were ordinary fishermen, he interrupted them and told them, you will catch men, not fish. Then they had a meeting and said, the only way to interrupt him is to kill him. But they didn't know what God was up to. So when they interrupted him, he said, what do we do now since you have interrupted him? He said, well, there's only one thing. I didn't do anything and they interrupted me. So every other person that did something, they are not permitted to interrupt them. That's the gospel. Satan said, hey, what shall we do? The only thing to do is to tell them not to believe this thing I've said. So this morning, be standing on what I've just told you. Anywhere you see an interruption to the due order, you have all the power to say no. This is wrong. This life now is not supposed to be going to Damascus. Lord, interrupt it. It's so deep that all through the Bible, all I see is God interrupting. They had already interrupted Jonah. Do you remember the man of God, Jonah? And he was on his way to where? Tarshish. God said, no, we will interrupt him and bring him to the place of purpose. You remember Moses? Left for him by now. He will have Moses and Jethro, agricultural company, and be shipping cow down east. God said, let's interrupt him. This is not why he was born. Jeremiah was already among the priests in Anatot, but he was born to be a prophet. So the Lord needed to interrupt him. Our prayer is simple. For the Son of God was manifested to do what? To interrupt every single thing that the enemy has done. Can I say to you, church, there cannot be conception unless there is an interruption. It is when God interrupts every single thing that the devil is doing. And do you know the interesting thing? After he finishes with you, he will send you to go and be what? Interrupting processes. Some of you, at age 3, he interrupted you. He knew that the hand of the Lord will be coming mightily upon you. He brought one foolish aunt who defied you at 3 and instituted a demonic program that you have been running all this while. You will rise and rise and rise and rise and rise. You don't cross that matter. That matter will bring you down. In fact, June is your month. From January till May, you are sound on fire. By June, that thing will normally happen. And you will return back again and start afresh. Some! It was when they entered the university. The devil looked into their eyes and said, ah! If we don't kill this one now, the havoc we do will be plenty. Let's just interrupt him. They brought all manner of things. And they were presenting it. And because you didn't know it's an interruption, you bought into it. Some of you, they carried you to one babalao like that. Some of us, they went and made mark. My own has entered inside. They made mark. Say they are protecting us. Can you imagine that a murderer who is looking for you is your bodyguard? That's the foolishness of that time. But we have come to know that the Lord, oh God, you are my shield. You are my glory. You are the one that lifts off my head. You are the one who interrupts whatever the enemy has done. The whole of this year, my prayer has been, Lord, bring us back to default setting. How it would have been if the enemy never interrupted us. So this morning, as we come to the place of prayer, you will cry like Jabez. Say, interrupt this thing. Set a new order in my family. Nobody rises in this place, but I'm a new man. I'm coming from another angle. What is backing me is very different. He said, all powers in heaven and earth has been given to me. You are going to bring this life and this destiny and say, God, every interruption of the wicked, and this is the last one, he will never interrupt proceedings. The sweet fellowship that you normally have with God, sin should not interrupt it anymore, because sin shall not have dominion over you. Why? He is risen. Whatever be the interruption, sickness is an interruption. Poverty is an interruption. It interrupts the purpose of God. But I see your father coming out this morning and saying, whatever and whoever interrupted you, that's fine. But I have also come to interrupt whatever has been set in motion, every process going on in my life, secretly and openly. I know it, I don't know it. Here is PGMI, the program of God. That is what must run, not the program of the enemy. So every program that the enemy has on, I know devil does programming, but heaven will deprogram it and then reprogram you for something else.